Managing Facebook ads can feel like a full-time job, especially for operators and business owners who have a million other things to do. Endless manual adjustments, constant monitoring, and unpredictable results can drain your time and energy. In this video, we'll reveal the secret weapon that the top advertisers are using to automate all of those tedious tasks, ensuring your ads run smoothly and effectively while you focus on what really matters: growing your business. So let's get started. I'm Charlie. Welcome back to Disruptor School, where we do things a little bit different, demystifying Facebook and empowering the community so that you can see more success and less stress, which is what you really deserve. So let me introduce you to automated rules. Automated rules are a way to set up the machine to do these high-value, repeated tasks over and over again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for free. Automated rules are vital for performance and optimization because they do all of the tasks, all of the time, every single day, meaning you can focus your time and energy on what really matters. There are two types of automated rules you should absolutely be using. One that can help scale your budget without you ever having to touch it, and the second one to optimize your ads, again, without you ever actually having to go into the ad account yourself ever again. Now, before we get started, let's define exactly what this rule is going to do for us. Now, one of my favorite ways of scaling businesses, and this is something I've done to help brands go to 8 and 9 figures and exits year after year, is scaling the budget where we could double the budget more or less every month. And the easiest way to do that is adding 5% 3 times a week. So let's set up the ad account to do that for us as long as our efficiency is good enough. So if our target cost per result is $50, as long as our performance is 10% better than that, then we can add 5% all day, and even if we got no more sales, it'd still be fine. Now our entire job is just to make sure that we can do that more often than not. So now that we know what our business rule is, let's build the automated rule so that we never have to touch budgets ever again. First thing we're gonna do is we gotta name this rule. Now, what I like to do, since this is what I call performance gate scaling, is we're gonna put PGS in the title of the rule. Throw in a little pipe. Now let's say what we're going to do. We're going to add 5% Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, for those of you that say 5% isn't a lot, 5% 3 times a week is double your budget every month. Doubling your budget every month will raise your budget by 37x by the end of the year. Believe me, this is plenty. So that any one really good or bad day doesn't throw us off. We're going to start using trends to push the business forward in a reliable, consistent, and stable way. So we're going to do this. Less than $45 over the last 7 days. Awesome. Now that we've clearly defined what the rule is and our business rules around it, let's go in and actually structure it so that we never have to touch this ever again. First thing, we're going to apply this rule to all active campaigns. And I know, you don't want to necessarily go into every campaign. We're going to solve that here in just a little bit. Hold on, I got you. Next, we're going to do on the action, we're going to increase the budget by how much? 5%. Awesome. Now in here, we're going to have to put a daily budget cap because Facebook doesn't want to be held accountable for it just going up to $1 million. So let's say some number that feels reasonable to you. For today's example, I'm going to put in $1,000. Great. Now we're going to make this action happen once a day. And I know you said Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to get to that. Don't you worry. Okay, let's go down to the next section, the conditions. This is where it starts to get super fun. We're going to say the campaign name contains PGS. Now, this will apply to all active campaigns, but only to the ones that have PGS in the title, which means if you want this to apply to your campaign, you just go and edit the name of the campaign and add PGS to the name. Now it's eligible. All right, it really is just that easy. We're going to use this name to make things eligible or not eligible for the rules. Let's keep going. Next, we're going to say that our threshold is CPA less than 45. So for us, we're going to do cost per result smaller than 45. Awesome. So we're going to go off of the last 7 days. This is what we call a trailing 7-day average. This allows us to take account for good weekends and bad weekdays, things that might happen anywhere across the board. We've rounded out the edges and we're going on trend analysis, which is what you need to do for stability, scalability, and ultimately the success that you deserve. So we have one more thing that we need to do. Currently, this is set to run continuously, basically meaning every 30 minutes this is going to run. We don't want that. No. We're going to go to custom. And in custom, we're going to turn on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And it defaults to only run at midnight. So now we're done. And the way that we proof our work before we hit create is we're going to read this top down. And if you notice, everything actually follows in the same way that we structured the name of the rule. So what is the rule? It's a performance gate scaling rule. That's the PGS. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to increase the budget by 5%. Awesome. That's this part. When is it eligible for the 5%? Anytime the cost per result over the last 7 days is below 45. Now, when is it going to do that rule? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at midnight. Awesome. Now, as long as this happens, you're going to scale your budget. This is going to be stable. This is going to be predictable, projectable. It's going to happen 100% of the time, and you don't have to worry about touching your budgets ever again. So all we have to do now is go ahead and hit create. Boom. Now, for those of you that want a little bit of extra credit, you could absolutely do the same thing to reduce the budget if... Girl, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to get to that right now. We're going to get to it right now. If the cost is too high, yeah. If the cost is too high, we can also basically build this exact rule, but say if the cost is over 55, reduce the budget by 5%. Now, Facebook will automatically increase or decrease your investment. Oh, girl, come on. Okay, yeah. No, I know. It's okay. We're going to tell them right now. So what if our cost per result is actually really bad? If it's over 55, we could basically write the exact same rule, but say over 55 minus 5%. Now, your daily budget is completely automated, and all you have to do is manage the ads and your business. This is how the best advertisers in the world do this work in a couple hours a week. So I've just shown you how to automate the budgets, but how do we do ad optimization? Well, that's also really simple. Let me show you. We go into rules, we hit create new rule. Now for this one, we're gonna call it auto optimizer. And for those of you looking ahead, yeah, you're just gonna add that to the campaign name and it'll be eligible for any campaign that has that in the name. Super fun. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna throw in a pipe. For this, if the ad is 10% more expensive than we're allowing it to be, and we've spent enough to say get 50 conversions, well, maybe it's time to turn that ad off. Well, you never actually need to do that manually ever again. Let's write the rule. So if our CPA is over 55, after we've spent enough to get 50 sales, which if our target cost is 50, meaning 50 conversions at $50 a piece, which is $2,500, turn off. Simple as that. Now, here's where we're gonna apply the rule. We're gonna apply this rule to all active ads, all of them. And the rule is gonna be to turn off the ad. So the first condition we need to do at the name, campaign name contains hashtag AO, which is auto optimizer. That's the kind of rule that we're building. Now, our other parameters, if our spend is greater than 2,500, cool. And our cost per result is greater than 55. All right. Now, we could say that we want this to run maximum lifetime, which is probably good enough. And at that point, we can run this rule continuously because at any point in time, if we cross over that threshold, we want to turn the ad off. Okay, that makes sense. Basically, what this means is once the ad is spent $2,500, if the net cost of that ad ever goes over 55, turn it off. That's pretty good, especially if our target cost is only 50. Great, we're done. That's the entire rule. Now, any ad that soaks up a bunch of budget and isn't good enough automatically gets turned off. It's just that easy. You never need to optimize your ads manually. ever again. Now, in this video, we're talking about a bunch of advanced stuff at a very surface level. If you want to know a lot more about it, you can go ahead and join the Facebook Ads MBA program. We got a community of people around the world, and this is just scratching the surface of a ton of extra things to help you scale your Facebook ad account, run your business better, earn more time back, and ultimately see more success and less stress. If you want to join the MBA program, there's a link in the description down below to give you some more advice, or you can go ahead and scan this QR code. Bam! So now let's get into some simple best practices. These are the 3 things you need to know. Number 1, never automate something you haven't done yourself. The purpose of an automated rule is so that you don't have to do that work anymore. Once you've established what the rule should be, you can train the machine to do it instead of you doing it. Number 2, simplicity. Make sure that your automated rules do very simple tasks that should happen 100% of the time. Otherwise, that's not something you should automate. So best practice number 3, and this one is super important, quality of data. Don't run a rule based off of 1 or 2 sales or 1 or 2 days. Remember, we set up the rule based on 50 conversions or the trailing 7-day average. The purpose of this rule is not to day trade. It's to round off the corners. It's to save a little bit of time. It's there as a guardrail to teach the machine how to make better decisions so that you can spend your time doing more important things. And by the way, you can totally combine these rules to run together. For instance, if you have a rule that allows you to increase your budget as long as your average cost over the last 7 days is below a certain number, and you have a rule that turns off ads that cost more than that, well, you're gonna increase your budget far more often. And now your only job is to introduce new creative tests to replace the ads that get turned off. It really is just that easy. Now, when you're playing with automation, there's a couple things that can go wrong. First, you could wildly over-automate everything in your ad account. I've seen people with dozens of rules that actually don't have any idea what's gonna happen when any one action occurs, and sometimes those rules completely contradict each other. Remember, simple scales, complex fails. Keep it easy. And the other big red flag when building your automated rules is guessing what the rule should do. Remember, only automate the things that you've already proven worked. If you do it every day for a couple of weeks, set a rule to do it for you. But don't guess what the rule should do. That's where 99% of people begin to make really big mistakes. So now that you know how to use automated rules to make managing your ad account a lot easier, and I mean, you should be spending less than an hour a week inside of your Facebook Ads Manager, there are things that you need to know about everything else. So I made a great playlist here for you to understand things from creative testing to budget management, creating your hero offer, everything you need to know to scale your Facebook ad account. So check it out, and until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye!